you are pardoned. You are pardoned. He said, you had to tell me that?
There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. It could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
At any rate.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Not only do you not get to call Joe Biden a liar and all the staff and the media lying for months or years about this pardon coming that you know was going to happen if he lost this election. If he lost this election, you knew this pardon was coming. If he got any jail time, this pardon was coming if he was still in office. I was interested to see what the sentencing was, but not only can you not call Joe Biden a liar, because that's wrong, as per Whoopi Goldberg, that's not a lie. You also need to feel bad because they're victims. They're victims of malicious, selective prosecution and persecution of an innocent man over, and I do agree. I agree. It is over a silly little thing that a lot of people admit to, not admitting to certain drug use and certain, you know, substance abuse whenever you're filling out a gun form. I've never lied on anything like that. And I would never lie on a federal form, of course. And, you know, it is true that most people don't have that happen. But even though they brought a crime against Trump that no other person in American history has ever been brought to trial with, forget about that. Forget about all that and feel bad for the Bidens because his own DOJ with his own AG went after his son. The optics were, okay, this looks really bad. We're really going after our political opponent in Trump. We're smearing him, indicted him 4 times, hit him with more indictments than Al Capone, and we're trying to smear him and make him look like the worst person that ever lived. We need to, and the Republicans keep squawking about these little crimes that your son committed. Let me do my investigation. Let me do this. I promise we won't let him go to jail, but we need to do this so it looks like we're not the worst, most corrupt DOJ to ever be a part of the government. So let's just do the investigation. Everything will work out. We'll get a sweetheart plea deal, and then the Republicans put a microscope on that plea deal, and it was really not a good plea deal. It was really bad. It was pretty gross. And so they nuked the plea deal, and then now that he's facing sentencing, and then he loses the election, who did not see this coming? But don't call him a liar. They're actually victims. Feel bad. This is all because Trump weaponized the DOJ. Don't you understand that this is all Trump's doing? And Trump did this? So get ready to feel bad. Get ready to feel bad for Biden and Hunter. He's just a poor little guy. He didn't do anything. He didn't sex traffic anyone, guys. Joe Biden picked 2014 out of a hat. It has nothing to do with, his crimes in Ukraine. It has not, dude, just relax. Why you guys always gotta be so conspiratorial? It's not a conspiracy, okay? You're just dumb. Weave your little basket. Put the cans of soup on the shelf, dude. You freaking idiot. You ready to feel bad? Press the buttons, do the things. I appreciate it. If you press the buttons and do the things, I'll make more videos. Something to think about.
The View host Whoopi Goldberg has unleashed on her co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin over Joe Biden's pardoning of his son Hunter. Goldberg and Griffin got into a heated exchange after Griffin claimed Joe Biden lied in the past when he repeatedly said he would never pardon his son Hunter.
Because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I would stop calling it a lie.
Why repeatedly say you're not going to and you do? And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it says. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think, for many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt with.
The internet reacted to the bust-up with this commentator saying, Whoopi Goldberg says people need to stop calling Biden a liar for flip-flopping on pardoning Hunter Biden. Biden said he wouldn't pardon his son. He did. This is by definition a lie. And this commentator agreed, saying just in, Whoopi Goldberg says what Hunter Biden did is okay because he was addicted to drugs, unlike Trump, who is not a drug addict. Remarkable. Goldberg said people need to stop accusing Biden of lying when he said he would not be pardoning his son.
Just like I said, stop being a conspiratorial bigot, a bigot monster, racist, misogynistic monster. That's what you're doing, you transphobe. You know, I don't see. Whoopi needs to tell you right away. It's not a lot. Did you see her? Did you see her coping with it when she has her hand in front of her? She's like, I would stop calling it a lie. And it's like, would you? You would stop calling that a lie. You would stop calling the lie a lie. Well, no shit, you would. It's because you're a propagandist. This is what this is. You guys, this is just. I would stop seeing the things you're seeing. I would stop watching us implode. I would stop. Please, could we stop talking about all the things we're doing wrong? Please. Um, so number one, this was clearly a lie because here's the thing. Nothing has changed. If you're gonna tell me that Joe Biden is just reacting to this malicious prosecution, these crimes don't make any sense. Listen, if you lie, if you smoke weed and you're trying to buy a gun and you write on and you check that you don't do any street drugs, any recreational drugs, um, no, you shouldn't go to jail. Should Hunter Biden be in trouble for this stuff? No, no. If he paid all of the taxes back and paid the back fees and the penalties and the late fees and all the restitution that goes along with not paying your taxes in full when he pays it all back, no, he shouldn't go to jail. These couple crimes he shouldn't go to jail for. But whenever you go after your political opponent, listen, the Democrats started this. Whenever they won the 2020 election, they immediately said, "We can never allow him to come anywhere near the chambers of power ever again." Immediately begin the smear campaign. We've already impeached him twice for nothing. We've already done all these things trying to smear him. We won this election somehow, somehow. Um, win this election. Now we need to bury him so he can never come back to the chambers of power again. We can never allow him to do it. Bury him, indict him. Show me the man, and I'll find you the crime. That's what they did with him. And similarly, you knew that that's what it looked like, so you allowed your DOJ to investigate a couple low-level crimes of Hunters, knowing that you would never let them get your DOJ would never go anywhere near the real crimes, and that's what you did. You no one and another thing, so just to finish up my points, number 1, stop calling it a lie. It was a lie. It was a lie because nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Nothing switched in the prosecution. Nothing like it's not like Trump took over and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna put him in jail for 10 billion years." And you were like, "I can't let Trump put my son in jail for saying that he's not a drug addict when he was on a gun form. I can't, I gotta pardon him." Nothing's changed, Joe. You just said, like, last week you wouldn't pardon him, and nothing's changed except, you lost the election. That's what changed. And now you're gonna pardon so you lied. So you lied. Um, and then number 2, that you have to feel sorry for him. "Oh, it's just a father saving his son." No, if it was just a father saving his son, then he would have pardoned him for the gun crime that I agree with him he should not be being prosecuted for. He should not go to jail for that. Um, Secondly, the tax crimes. If he paid them all back in full and didn't get out of the penalties or anything, and he paid all the restitution and everything that goes along with it and all the fees and blah, 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 no, he shouldn't go to jail for it. So, but then you pardon him for 11 years for crimes known and unknown. That's where it's like, hold on a second. Why did you go back 11 years? The statute of limitations on the gun crime, I believe, was 5 or 6 years, the same as the tax crimes. Why did you add an additional 5 years on top of the statute of limitations for the crimes that you're pardoning him for? That seems really odd. Why'd you do that? 2014 is whenever we installed Poroshenko in Ukraine, and then Hunter took a job at Burisma and started funneling tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars through Burisma, and then Joe Biden had to get his favor immediately from Poroshenko after we installed him in Ukraine. You can say whatever happened. If the massacre at Medan just naturally happened and our billions of dollars we spend with USAID in Ukraine and the other ex-Soviet nations, we don't fund revolutions or civil war or regime changes. We only fund NGOs. and we fund, only good things, of course. Whatever. So the pro-Putin, pro-Russian president that was still in office was with an upcoming election. A massacre happened. He fled back to Russia. The presidency was vacated. In comes Poroshenko, the American-backed guy, and Joe Biden cashes in on an immediate favor, forcing him to fire the prosecutor that's looking at Burisma. Then he pulls a date out of his hat to pardon his son all these years later and goes all the way back to 2014, the same year that all these things happened in Ukraine. So, no, Joe didn't pardon himself. So he's still on the hook. But if you can't investigate Hunter and he was the middleman, you just shut down so many breadcrumb trails that lead back to Joe Biden. And then you got people like Cenk Uygur that are going to say, "Oh, we saw all the evidence. The evidence showed that Hunter didn't do any. It wasn't connected. If Hunter was doing pay to play, which he probably was, but who knows? You don't really know. Nothing gets tied back to Joe. You guys know. You know how a father and a son. You know how there's no connection between a father and son. You know how that is. You know how there's no connection there between fathers and sons. I know. My father's. About he's going in on 70. He's going in on 70, okay? And I have no connection to him, If I was getting paid millions of dollars in Ukraine at a job that I was not qualified for, my dad wouldn't know anything about it.
In July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through, this is what you said. I want to watch.
Do you think a pardon for his son would be a mistake?
Yes, and I don't think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had any access to him. And I think you see that in this case, where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. If there is not an indication of the independence of the Department of Justice beyond that, I don't know what we could look for.
What does that feel like, watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son?
Yeah, and I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon. That was a satisfactory outcome.
It already fallen through.
Do you know what it means to clap back, Raymond? Because I
Sorry?
do. When you reacted, this was when the deal had fallen through. And I hear what you're saying.
Absolutely owned. He turned into a stuttering, useless mess. And really, no wonder why. Here's Dan Goldman justifying what happened, but then there's a clip from not too long ago where he's essentially saying that this is never going to happen. And of course, at the time, the narrative was that only Donald Trump would act in this kind of blatant, corrupt manner for his own personal interests. I mean, we all remember the line back then, right? Quote, "No one is above the law."
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
You are pardoned. You are pardoned. You had to tell me that?
There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. It could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was
I'm serious.
that it was Russian
Said,
intelligence.
I don't know, man.
It could be that it was stolen from me.
At any rate.
See what I mean? Why? Just listen to Hunter. It could be any of those things. Why you guys gotta be like this? Always so conspiratorial. Everyone's, they suppressed the story of the laptop, whatever. It could have been Russian information. It could have came from Mars. Hunter doesn't know. Joe Biden doesn't know. That could have been maybe a Russian Trump agent went to that shop and left that laptop there that had all Hunter's, personal information, and they got all that personal information and planted it there. And when they went there, that makes sense. I don't know why you guys are like this. I don't know. Let's try to finish this video up so I can not make hour-long videos every single time. But, who knows? Maybe I'll just, you tell me. They're too long, aren't they? They're too long. Even with the chapters, huh? It's okay. It's okay. I'll keep trying. But yeah, this was not a lie. And what the truth of the matter is that the DOJ, this whole time we've been telling you that Donald Trump is screaming the DOJ is corrupt. this whole time we've been hold on. This whole time we've been saying the DOJ is corrupt and they're doing selective prosecutions of political opponents of the Democrats. And the Democrats said, "Nuh-uh, that's not true. That can't even happen. That's not even a thing. I don't know why you're saying that. That's impossible, actually." And then Joe Biden does this, and then your response is that the DOJ selectively prosecuted someone because of who they are. That's what we've been saying. And then you said that's not nuh-uh, Donald Trump's just a criminal, nuh-uh. And then when Joe Biden pardons his son, you're like, this is selective prosecution. How can you guys? Why are you the DOJ? Why are they so corrupt? Why are they doing this? Oh, so they are corrupt. So the DOJ is corrupt. I think Scott Jennings did it. They're corrupt, right? They're corrupt, right? Well, then I say we throw everything out. Everything they did against Trump too. They're corrupt, right? Aren't they selectively prosecuting people based on politics? That's why Joe Biden did this pardon and why everything's perfectly fine, right? Because they do that. So if they do that with Hunter, then they probably did it with Donald Trump. No, no, of course not.
But it's right. You're bringing up an issue, and you brought it up, so I want to address it. This idea that Hunter Biden is being selectively prosecuted. Now, one of the core criticisms of the Republicans, and Trump specifically, during the Biden years, is that the Department of Justice is engaging in selective prosecution investigations of Republicans. And today, what I hear Democrats saying is, you know what, you're right. Joe Biden's DOJ does engage in selective prosecutions, which is exactly why we need people to come in and clean it out now. There seems to be bipartisan consensus.
But
Selective prosecutions.
Does it open that door, Congressman?
What door?
The door to
Can I ask a question? Do you all think that Merrick Garland should be fired because of this corruption at the DOJ? You think there's corruption there? You think this was a politicized witch hunt? But the Attorney General should be held accountable, no?
At any rate.
These charges were trumped up because his name is Hunter Biden.
But wouldn't you, if you were the president, would you believe the Attorney General?
Let's consult our legal experts.
Yeah, so you see, now you're hearing that, right? Democrats have mental gymnastics themselves into agreeing with Republicans.
You can't make this up.
You can't make this up, okay? These are the same people that swore up and down, told you that you're a crackpot, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a right-wing extremist if you say that the DOJ is politicized just for them to agree that the DOJ is politicized in defense of Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's a knockout blow right there. So the justification is that something contextually changed that caused Joe Biden to change his mind. He didn't lie to you. He just changed his mind. But the only thing that changed was he lost the election. And I'm sure if I go back through, I'm sure they ask him, what if you lose the election? Will you pardon him? And I guarantee you he said no. I'll try to see if I can find it. It might even already be in one of these supercuts I already made. But I'm willing to bet even all these people that the dude earlier that I exposed, he said, "Oh, well, if that plea deal, I wouldn't have said those things if the plea deal would have went through." And she's like, "Well, that was after the plea deal. You said that stuff after the plea deal." Yeah, no shit, dude. You're a bunch of liars. You can't get none of your lies straight. And then no, it's because of selective and political prosecution from the DOJ. His own DOJ went after all the people that he gave jobs to run the DOJ. They went after the guys that gave them jobs. Does that make sense? No, it was a cover-up. It was to cover up all the political prosecution of Donald Trump. So they had to make it seem like it was bipartisan. So he allowed the DOJ to investigate his son. They put a couple slap wrister, little wrist slapper, little crimes that he snapped on him. But the real crime started in 2014. So the plea deal gets blown up because it was stupid and dumb and just ridiculous. Then they all still said he won't pardon him because Donald Trump is the only person that would do something bad like that. And let me be clear about this. The people that were charged with crimes, with everything going on with the 2016 or 2020 election that ended up like Roger Stone, people that got put in jail. Donald Trump was not just pardoning his friends that committed crimes. Those were people that were prosecuted because they were supporting Donald Trump. So when Donald Trump had the power to help the people that were prosecuted and persecuted for simply supporting him and trying to get him elected, they wanted to make sure, not only did they smear Donald Trump, they wanted to make sure that no one would want to work with him. Anyone that works with him and tries to support him, let's smear them, the political prisoners that are in jail, the J6 prisoners. Everything is to make it so you will be punished if you support Donald Trump. That's what they did. So they went after them, and when Donald Trump gained power, he let those people that were persecuted out of prison. It wasn't just his friends. Oh, he just let his friends out of jail so they can go get rich some more. No, those people were put in jail because they supported Donald Trump and helped get him elected. That's why they were put in jail. Tell me about their white collar crimes and the dumb campaign finance stuff and the clerical errors that they caught them on. Tell me all about it. Please, please embarrass yourself and tell me all about it. Donald Trump, when he got power, he let the people that supported him get the power out of jail. That makes sense. That makes sense. But to wait to the last minute to pardon a guy for white collar wrist slap crimes, but then give him an 11-year blanket no holds barred immunity for everything that he's done since somebody overthrew Ukraine and installed Poroshenko, and then Joe Biden immediately cashed in on a favor to fire a prosecutor that was investigating the company his son just took a job at where he was funneling tens or hundreds of $1,000,000 to Burisma. But don't think about that. This is just about a gun crime. This is just, oh, yeah, he said he wasn't a drug addict when he was. He shouldn't go to jail for that. He paid all those taxes back. Look, guys, this is a normal pardon. They have already switched to this is a selective prosecution, but not against Donald Trump. This is Joe Biden investigated himself, and he accidentally got himself in trouble. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And in the end, they did all the stuff to Donald Trump. That's what happened. All the stuff that they're crying about, it's simple Democrat projection. This is all they do is project everything. Any crimes that you think the Democrats are committing, just listen to them because they'll tell you everything they accuse the Republicans of, that's what they're guilty of. This is their playbook. It can't get any more obvious than this. This shit is wild. Anyone else still supporting these people is strange. You're either naive, gullible, or you're a part of the problem. You want to be a problem. You want to just. It's just I don't know. You tell me. I need some opinions. I need some more interactions. I need some more impressions. Argue with me. Be mad at me. I don't care. You want me to get a burner? You want to call me and have a live stream and we'll argue with each other? Well, you man enough to do that? I don't know. Try to defend this. I dare you to. This is, we all knew he was going to do it. We don't care that he did it. It's just, why do you have to lie so much? Why do you have to lie and just pretend that it's something else when it's so obvious what it is? I just don't get it. All right, I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Please, if you guys can do the things, I work really hard on these videos and, it is what it is. I know it's going to be slow going for the first couple years while I'm making content, but, I don't know. It's definitely I definitely enjoy this. I like making videos for you guys. I hope you like them. I'm gonna be making more. I need some more. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do some shorter ones. Let's get some shorter ones popping. We'll see. We'll see. You tell me. Is Joe Biden a hypocrite? Are the Democrats hypocritical? Are they lying? Is this all just bullshit? Does none of this matter? Who's in charge? Are you in charge? I think I might be in charge. What do you think? Eh. Who cares?